Welcome to SABC. My name is SABC2. I want to talk about this is nothing but the best of the best in the world of sport. On today's show, we're going to be discovering more about the lesser aspects known about certain different sporting codes. But before I get ahead of myself, let us check out Dave and Chris on what they have for us on squash. Our curiosity about squash and the state of the sport in South Africa led us to two old friends. They've lived and still are living the game.
Squash is a game that can be played at all ages, and particularly it seems to start in the schools. The schools are very active with squash, but then the problem that we seem to have is that between schools and later life there is a gap, and the youngsters are not playing straight through until their older age. For instance, now my partner here, Chris, and myself are what we call masters players, and masters is for any age over 35. Chris, how long have you been playing squash?
I've been playing squash since my university days, over 40 years ago.
40 years.
Yeah, and I'm not getting any better.
So it's an amazing game that keeps you fit. It's a game you can play at all times of the night and day. This particular court that we're playing on now, which is an all-glass court, which is, I think, one of the only ones in the country, and it's an international standard court where we have the SA Nationals every year, and the top players in South Africa play on this court.
Many years ago, squash was very popular because it was a nice social activity. Families used to come and spend time at the club during weekends and have braais, and everyone used to join in. But it declined a bit in the 90s in the last 10 years, but I think it's picking up quite a bit recently. The schools are encouraging it, and I think the spectator facilities are getting better. The trouble is with squash, of course, it's 3 walls that you can't see through, so you've only got 1/4 of the squash court that you can actually watch as a spectator, and that probably limits the popularity because you can't get many spectators in to watch games. But as a player, I can tell you it's a thoroughly enjoyable sport, so much so that squash has been proposed as a new Olympic sport for the next for the Olympic Games in 2020. And we've got all hope that it'll be accepted as an Olympic sport then, and that'll be very exciting. They'll have new high-tech squash courts with glass walls and even glass floors to improve the facilities for filming. So we're looking forward to that.
There is a project that's running for development squash. It's running in Hillbrow. And one of our coaches is very involved in that development, bringing those kids on. Most of them are from disadvantaged backgrounds, and they don't have all the equipment necessary, but the various squash clubs around the country have donated shoes and rackets for these children to play. And they go around to various clubs and are taught by the coaches who are available for development squash.
I recommend it. It's cheap to start. All you have to do is buy a racket. And a racket initially can range from anything between $200 to 800 to well over 1,000 rand. But at the end of the day, what matters is hitting it in the center of the racket. That's the most important thing. Don't forget, stand on the tee and down the wall.
Wow, now that was great. And that brings us to yet another glorious show of SLS. Hosana SABC2 family for SLS. How go running have a baking etang SABC2 11:30 every Friday mornings. Nalo na go 3 o'clock list at FM. Tapama hosane. Yay.